Now you know what's up. This is Ancient, and we are ready to begin this series between Davenport University and BHOP Esports, the final semi. And this will determine who is going to join Social JJ on the grand finals of the CCTNA 2022 series number 1. Yes, it's a mouthful, but this is a big commitment for teams. They have already made it this far. They definitely want to go the distance and take everything so they can move on as one of the elite finishers who will eventually play in the studio finals and perhaps even the grand finals in person. But we're going to have to wait and see that as teams are getting ready to begin.
Of course, yes, we were just waiting ever so slightly. Now I think that the sides are actually correct this time around. Davenport taking CT and BHOP. Got to start on those T's. We're seeing a couple of dualies already. So Spec and Switcher are going to look in to go for the hurt early on. We've seen so far, like, how the great importance that starting on the right foot really has. And not only for the fact that you get pretty much the second free round after one, but more so to me at this point of the tournament, really, because of the stakes that are at play, really. So let's hope that mentality keeps like at an all-time high for both of these teams. I mean, you'd really like to see them play their best, do the best they can do, even in spite of what might at some points get a bit dire. But I mean, I think that these guys have shown already that they are capable of taking it or slowing it down whenever they need to, or going guns blazing also when it is required of them, going with the aggressiveness. So, as we are setting everything up, again, just a bit of a wait right here, but it looks like we are all good to go at this point. The players are ready. They are just making the last few checks, and we are jumping straight into it, and that is it. Starting this map number 1 between Davenport University and BHOP Esports.
And you already know what the meta is here on the pistol round. Everybody's going to push in. Wow, that was the freest of entries into B. Nobody ready to really make a stand, and the bomb will be planted. Quite possibly the fastest bomb plant yet. BHOP Esports starting out aggressive, starting out with a bang. And they might just get this bang right here if there isn't a big shootout, but of course, Davenport University is already rotating back, trying to find a way in. The flash is going to affect Brett. He does not have the best defense. Breaky and Stillis go down as well. But guess what? Even after all that, BHOP Esports kept the majority, and they take down everybody on Davenport. That's the first round.
First round going the way of BHOP. Fast plan, as you say, just very quick execution. Gotta buy them some time, gotta cut them some slack at this point. And so, the right start for BHOP, definitely what I wanted to get. Also winning the right gunfights by the end. So not only the strat paying off, but also the execution showing itself to be there, at least mechanically so. Util gonna fly off Molly, immediately trying to block any sort of approach. And the movement was fast, however, they were being expected. A couple of trades go down, and even though BHOP ended up losing a couple of players, they managed to get the execution onto B.
Speaking of which, they're still surrounding it, hovering very different angles. One taking cover in the first lane, and now the back alley. 2 people, actually. It's going to be Aris and Silas. It's Swan taking care of the ramp. Doesn't seem like anybody's trying to approach. Davenport needs to move in pronto, as none of them have kits. And I think that time has long gone. The ship has sailed. They're really just playing to get some extra fire damage, but that's about it. The round's over. And BHOP Esports still lost a couple more team members, but guess what? They forgot to leave the bomb area, and so Ares is the lone remaining player. BHOP Esports wins and remains with one team member alive.
One remainder, two as expected for BHOP at this point. See what the answer is from the part of Davenport. As they've done so frequently throughout the tournament, I'm sure that throughout practice as well. Honing their skills. And of course, rifles to boot this time around. So perhaps a bit more patience is ensued at this point. Gonna hit that rotation. Switcher still controlling. The chamber done it. Gonna be perfectly on their side. A couple of shots go down. Aris getting the worst of them, but not yet falling to the ground.
Speaking of fallen, Silas catches Switcher and Plug, and oh man! Aris and Silas were doing some great work there. They're pretty much even after all that. Oh, no, not anymore though. Kojo might get a good angle onto Swan, but Swan will go back to CT lane. And also Breaky hiding on Temple. I don't think Davenport has that clear of a view. But BHOP seems to be choosing very specific angles. Man, Breaky actually getting that kill on Spec. And he is not going to find it on Corrin. Kojo setting up the util for a defuse, but BHOP is still going to find him. And thus, that's the third round on their advantage. Good way to start out with a bang on the map of their choosing as well, with a mean T side they're playing.
Definitely a mean offense that they've shown us so far. It's quite a lot of action for starters here at what seems to be the ruins of an excavation. You already know, perhaps a bit more towards the site that this site is prepared for, and it's catching quite a bit of heat over here. Antigua, you already know. Some shots, nice from Aris. Kojomo is no more as a consequence of that. Silas waiting on the other side of the smoke as Beaky trying to pick as well. The offense continues to push through. Let's see if they can further their advantage. They do carry the bomb as of currently, so seems like they are just trying to clear something out. Spec, though, might be able to cause some damage, and Pog is also in prime position. Seems like they know exactly where the opponent is at this point. I'm talking about Davenport, and well, they are trying to play their cards, but their numbers are dwindling now, only down to Switcher. Will Brett and Beaky get it done? And by done, the plant, it is indeed here. 2v1 situation. Will Switcher make the magic happen, though? And, well, he still has a chance, especially considering just how little health Beaky has left.
Beaky will have to play a very careful defense. Can't just peek. He has to set up a bait. Oh, and Switcher just went in. He was caught off guard by Beaky. Little HP left on BHOP's own, but yet he still pulls through. And that's the fourth round for BHOP. Reminder that BHOP is one of the invited teams with a high seed. Because really, this tournament is actually pretty long. We saw Villainous Union, Foggy Esports, for instance, having to play the play-ins. They were not invited. Technically, Davenport and Sojoga were invited. They just had lower seats, and yet here they are. Sojoga in the grand finals, and Davenport in the semis. BHOP, though, putting on an absolute show on how to play T on Ancients. Now they are being blocked off, though. Now that Davenport has gotten a bit more util on their side, the Mollies have definitely stopped BHOP on their tracks. Bound to be an interesting showdown on the connection between T-Lower and Ruins, and another smoke being set up just to win themselves a little more time. On the other side of the map, there isn't much movement. We see Beaky trying to get some intel of anybody living on Hull, but I don't think there really is much. If he peeks, he might get a chance to see the smoke on Long and A main, but still not much at all, Roy, as everybody seems to be more so concerned with protecting the rhythm of the game, but all of a sudden, 2 kills coming through. Corn and Silas go down. Spec is going to cover the entrance to B through ramp. And it seems like that's where Brett wants to move through. Not going to be an easy one in. And that usual gave it away. He knows that everybody is moving in from here. He's going to take everyone down. And Spec claiming 4 kills on his own. He might get a 5th if he catches Eris. But I think Switcher has a better angle on him. Will he let Spec take it? No, he will not. Denied up the A's. But still, Davenport takes a round. And that's a lot more important for the team.
It is just business here for Davenport. Even as Spec managed to cause so much damage, you saw it even through the flash. He got the timing right, gets that first frag, and then follows with a couple more, amounting to 4 in that time around. Definitely going huge to stop the bleeding ever so slightly, of course, as BHOP continues to have the lead. Nothing that is out of control just yet here for Davenport.
Davenport still covering the entrance to B, and it seems that BHOP has now adapted, as the next push will be towards A. We see them hiding in Hall, waiting for the Vigil to be set up. That's going to earn them a little bit more time. If Puck does not shoot, then they are going to get a very good positioning going, but Puck will hide behind the box. Doesn't seem like much else is going to happen. Nobody throws any util either. They really do not want to give that away. They are moving in, though. Will they find Pug? Oh. They will find him. They blind him. Though he does take down Beaky. And they take down Ares as well. Switcher is going to fall, but those trades, I think, benefited BHOP a little bit more because now they have a chance to plant the bomb. And they will move in after that frag ends up doing no damage whatsoever. Silas still alive, and so is Brett. But Brett... what's up with that KD, buddy? 0 to 6 so far. Silas is taken down. It's all down to Swan now as he has to play a 2v1. Will he clutch it? He almost takes Kojo down. Still a lot of damage on his side, though, as Korn is going to cover the exit way for him. And that's a defuse. Davenport is going to go 2 rounds on their side, and BHOP slowly losing that lead they had.
Korn taking the wider angle to approach as Kojo almost falls down. That would have been crucial. I think if that exchange doesn't go their way, then definitely, well, that little exchange where Kojo managed to stay alive, then BHOP for sure, I think, still have a very solid shot at taking the round. But in the end, though, even with the time taken against them, Davenport make it happen. And exactly as to follow suit from the previous round as well. Bit of momentum here for Davenport.
Oh, and Davenport with a much better defensive positioning here as they are once again aiming for B. Spec is definitely going to find Aris on his back, and he's going to find Brett too. I insist, Roy. Look at Brett's KD. He is the only one in this map so far to not get a single kill. Silas is going to end up trading. Kojo is down, but so is the bomb, and that's what matters here. Davenport 1 round away from making this even. And BHOP, what BHOP did well at first was that through their util, they were forcing Davenport to commit to cover a single push entry. And, you know, just 2 rounds ago, they were doing a very good job when pushing for A. They took down Pug, but they kind of lost a little time and let everyone from Davenport rotate back to A through CT lane. They didn't cover all the entrances. BHOP kind of letting them slip through the cracks, and now they're only 1 round away from getting the score even. We see Davenport with a very good defensive positioning as well. You can see the mollies being set up. You didn't get to defuse both. You only defused 1. Oh, and Aris, he definitely peeked. Spec knows they're there. That's the intel for the team, but guess what? BHOP is going to lose 2 team members, and now Swan as well. Spec is on a tear, and so is Pug. Switcher took down as well. Favorable numbers for Davenport.
Talk about bringing the heat. Spec hitting those shots just right whenever his team needed him most. Switcher, of course, is not too far behind. But now both of these guys have been shut down as Vicky and Silas are looking to continue with this lead that BHOP has established for themselves. Bit of a long count play here as they're going to move to split. and then go for the full rotation. Davenport still on their toes, of course, as the info could pop up in just a couple of seconds. Enough time for Davenport to make that call. Go all the way around. Corn could stop them if he just gets the right angle, which is repositioning, of course. Back alley is very busy, and of course they know. Nade goes off, gets some damage. Beaky, though, will he get the final shots, and he closes things out onto Corn. Pressure is right there, though, from Kojo. This dangerous upper, though, even if he gets the first, not catch a second one. And so BHOP continue to keep themselves ahead.
Stopping Davenport's inertia. No more momentum coming from the collegiate team as they're finally neutralized. But Davenport was actually playing some pretty heavy-handed rounds before. I love the offense push that they always get through mid, setting up the mollies on lower mid. But now they seem to be completely out of there. They decide to push fully towards B, and it's paying dividends as they're going to stop them on their tracks. Swan is taken down, and nobody else took damage from the mollies, but still, they earned them some good time. Beaky down as well. And Davenport seems to be getting the intel that everybody was pushing for B, so they're going to rotate. You can even see Pug rotating from the bottom now in tunnel. The bomb will be set up either way, as Aris gets a chance to do just that, but Brett is the last one left. And we already talked about Brett's KD, and it's going to remain in 0 kills as he goes down, and the bomb will be defused. Not a good map for Brett at all. He has seen better days.
Talk about a cold start right there, Brett. Really, you can see the two sides of the spectrum, right? We highlighted spec so much here for Davenport, whereas on the other side for BHOP, it's been all the story of Brett, and even in spite of him not keeping up with the rest of the team, BHOP still find themselves around ahead, and so imagine what BHOP could do. Team starts picking up their slack, or like what appear to be the weak links at this point, at the very least, right? For this first half, things have not been too hot for some of them, and I think, well, yeah, that last round, sorry, absolutely crucial, as whoever lost it was gonna be forced into an eco. It feels like, of course, Davenport getting the better of that. Bit of a more of a better equipment situation here for Davenport for sure. However, they played their numbers, and even in spite of the fact they were forced to save a few bucks here and there, BHOP still continue to put themselves ahead. And look at that. We were talking about it. It was Brett picking up a couple of those frags that he was in desperate need for. Now, things continue to go with the same success here that BHOP has found. At the very least, for keeping themselves ahead.
That's a true testament to their skill, really. The fact that you're forced to save up a little and still pull through. Also picking up some solid weaponry on the way. You can see Swan already playing the AWPS. He should. The sooner you can get your hands on that, the better. Is Corn really going to be left with just that? They are actually going to kind of force Corn to save a little bit. So Davenport, not that much firepower on their side. They might be waiting on a chance to loot something, though. And here, once again, protecting the entryways through B. It's going to be the ramp being completely covered by Corn. He's actually leading the way. Well, yeah, if there's anybody who's going to get the intel, it's going to be the one who maybe will not kill that many people. But he does have 4 enemy team members approaching him. So that's definitely going to be a losing equation. He does get the intel, though. And Davenport is slowly rotating back towards B. We see the possible massacre happening on T upper, but nobody going through excavation other than Eris. And I have already talked about that. Excavation is usually a complete dead zone, or rather a death valley if you dare approach it. But Eris still living though.
Yeah, entering the kill zone right there for sure. Managing to traverse it, will Corn find himself on the other side, and look at Spec yet again, and the teamwork is going to show itself. Davenport getting the better of that, but still it is going to be a plant for Swan. But a short-lived one at that. Switcher puts him to the ground, and then we will get that defuse coming straight away. So still, even though like this is a situation we've seen many a time throughout this first half, will Davenport finally be able to crack through, not only getting that scoreboard evened out, but just managing to soar ahead for the first time. Will they do it though?
Well, this is still 4 rounds away to the side switch. But we have talked about that pristine situation that you can achieve if you leave T side with positive numbers, or even the double digits. BHOP is really on a pristine position, even though it's only 1 round differential. But to achieve CT with an advantage means that Davenport is going to be not such a good spot. Whoa, the boost though, nobody's gonna die. That was just a trade, and that was a double AWP as well.
Yeah, it was an interesting situation. No shots being connected in a deadly manner. Unfortunately so. Just a bit of a tickle right there. Look at the full rotation on the side of BHOP. The defense stance strong still. Spec is well positioned at this point. And has Corner right behind him, back him up in case anything goes out. And it feels like he will need that help. The smoke will only cause BHOP to slow down for a bit. But look at that, Spec has found himself a nice prize. If he can manage to grasp it, he only gets one, gonna immediately fall. Corn causing the real damage, though, taking a couple more. Yes, it is just Swan who is left alive, and even that is short-lived as well. Davenport put themselves 6 rounds here for them, which means that we are yet again in that same situation that we were talking about, and they could finally be claiming their first lead of this map.
Also, the fact that there isn't going to be a team achieving double digits before the side switch. Second tactical pause already too. That's pretty amazing to me, Roy, how they seem to be burning through those pretty quickly. And at least I don't feel like either team is in that big of a hurry to pick up the slack. They're playing head-to-head, really trading rounds, and that's a much better situation to be in than sometime earlier. Reminder that Davenport was down 4-0, and yet they have made it back. But BHOP will be forced to play eco rounds, so perhaps that's why there was a tactical pause. This is going to be a very complicated push. They will commit to B once again, but the Molly is going to stop them on their tracks. A lot of damage onto Silas and Eris. On the other side, Swan is going to try to approach, get some intel, but Corn is taking care of that angle as well. Won't be easy to enter B site. And as for the rest, we see Brett stuck on lower mid. We also see, we also see the kills coming through.
Yeah, Switch gonna get detonated. And Eris no longer gonna be a part of the living for this round. Of course, it was always going to be a tough push there for BHOP. However, we've seen him win a couple of those situations, even without being fully armed. However, at this point, of course, the offense is not completely disjointed, but it is continuing to dwindle down in numbers. Silas and Swan have an enormous hurdle ahead of them, especially as those shots don't connect. Spec yet again being the Green Reaper. And he did manage to connect some shots onto Silas prior to dying, so taking that last frag was just a matter of time. Great accuracy, of course. But yeah, not really a prediction, but really it does come through Davenport. Seems like if things continue to go this way, they will close out this first half a bit ahead. And I mean, they need everything that they can take whenever they are forced to play offense.
Speaking of which, the side switch is approaching as we only have 2 more rounds left, but Davenport really needs to make the most out of the CT that they have. CT usually where they shine most, and now the util is going to be another one of those bigger differential makers as Brett is taken down through the frac. We get a pretty committed push through A, it seems, as they're waiting to move through split. They're going to leave the bomb back as they first need to get some intel on some util being thrown. The Mollies are going to land on nobody, though, as BHOP loses 2 more team members. Everyone on lower mid, as they're trying to move there, end up falling. Not the zone you want to be in. All down to BK and Swan, who will commit for A. We see Swan waiting on A main. They can't just move through long, though. They still have some util. If BK throws, he will give some info away, though, and it will help Pug tell his teammates where to move. They're going to push through. But Pug, once again, hiding behind the box. He loved that spot. He is going to find Miki. And Swan was taken down by Kojo. That's another round for Davenport. And they seem... Well, they have now secured the positive score on the side switch. Now let's see if they can reach the 9 rounds on their advantage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that point pretty much was guaranteed that the advantage was going to go to their side. It is just a question of how much of an advantage is that going to represent? And of course, fortunately there for BHOP, they were quite hurt in the economy side, so not going to be fully equipped this time around. They did have some util to try and close things out as well, but numbers were just not in their favor. So the best they could hope for here is really to get a significant first frag and then build atop of that. But it seems like, at the very least for CTs, Davenport playing very tight at the moment. Of course, things are going to slow down to crawl once more, as we expect to do so here in this last round of the first half.
In damage, technical advantage for Davenport University, but now tactical advantage as well, but Spec is going to be forced to move back. He is going to catch only Silas. This was the same front he covered before, and Spec... No, actually, Corin is going to be the one taken down by Brett. Sorry, I read that wrong. But still, 2 teammates remaining for Davenport as they are forced to rotate, and this angle that Brett's covering should earn him a kill onto Kojo, and that will not happen as Kojo finds him first with the AWP. Lethal. Kojo has been lethal so far, but Pug is down, and now it's all down to Mr. AWP user Kojo, who is blinded by the smoke and now hurt by the util as well. This is looking like curtains Roy. We're going to go into the side switch with a score of 8-7 favoring Davenport, but now they're going to have to play T-side, and that won't be the easiest task ever. BHOP Esports has played amazing so far. Will they be able to make the best of CT?
BHOP managed to keep it respectable for the first half, and Davenport, well, a bit worrisome of a position. Perhaps for them, if they're not able to get this executions going, things could go south really quickly for them. And you see the way that BHOP are able to close the distance time and time again, as not only keep themselves ahead, but also whenever finding themselves at a disadvantage, the strategy has paid off. Quite an aggressive first push. Kojo and Switcher making quick work of Swan. And that kill feed is painted yellow, which is not great. Not great news here for BHOP Esports as Davenport continued to further their lead. And the offense, the defense was looking quite well. Perhaps a little slower at the beginning, but now on the switch, they're looking to further their success.
It's quite a good way to start out on team, as you really want to make the best of the pistol round you have, even as it's going to get for either team. But of course, here's the problem. How fast will BHOP burn through util to stop Davenport? Davenport has not given up much. They still have a lot of util to their side, but Corrin will be taken down as he tries to peek through his, actually not, as he tries to move through split. That was a very aggressive push from Red that pays dividends. He still needs to come back though, and they know that he is falling behind. They might find him on Cats, but Puck seems to be giving up on that idea. They would rather just push for B. No need to go take care of Brett just yet. Oh, but they still have a chance to kind of peek. Brett will not move an inch though. He's simply hiding on his spot. Wants to be as defensive as possible. What's the choice here from Davenport? They throw the smoke up there, trying to blind as many spots as possible, but guess what? They are not taking care of the ramp, and that's where everyone is prepared to shoot back. They take down 3 from BHOP though, so all in all, a very favorable push for Davenport against all odds.
In what looked like dire odds, they managed to still make it happen. Brett shutting one down. He's one away, and he does get it. He does get it, and he has enough time as well. Even in those conditions, Brett holding on. I mean, hard to believe that this man was without a single frag for the longest time, or for what felt the longest time, and then once he got something for himself, like he has not looked back. And this is exactly what BHOP need him to do, is just keep those sights forward, keep them pushing to the next one. And then now, after those last 3 kills from Brett in BHOP, trying to get a comeback of themselves.
Now for the next read. Will BHOP read that Davenport has decided to go A? Not much util flying by. Oh, but Pug about to get a very dangerous peek. We see Beaky actually hiding behind the box, while Davenport regroups. Lower mid will be covered on the other side, and the shootouts will begin. Beaky will take down Corn only, as they have now free entry into B, throwing some more frags to make sure that nobody's coming here. Oh, but they give up on A. No. They are coming back. Yeah, they are actually coming back, as Spec definitely told the team about that kill that he just suffered. They don't really have a clear way into the actual east side though. BHOP loses 2 team members, but they're still in a numeric advantage as they cover all fronts, and it's all down to Switcher, who does not have the bomb. The bomb is now completely protected. He does take down Swan though. You know where he is. What's going to be the push? Switcher has to go back, is forced to move back into Temple. He does not peek through though. BHOP needs to bring Switcher out. They do!
They do so, playing for the trade right there. And so BHOP closing it out in a very, very standard fashion right there. Really forcing Davenport's hand by the end. And well, things are getting... Well, they already got as close as they can be, right? Like, they're just perfectly back to even, but I mean, as far as the round count goes, they're not going to get any lower anytime soon. So who will be the first one to punch into the double digits?
Crucial round right here. Double digits might not mean the world of difference when you're only one round behind, but it will definitely put some pressure onto you. And we see that BHOP is playing a much tighter control of Dark. They do not want to go into excavation. They know that they can simply cover from way behind. They're gonna blink Kojo now out also. Kojo walking behind that same smoke. Prefers to be by the bomb. And here we go, the shootout begins. Davenport is going to trade team members as Tech goes down after he took down Xylus. And Swan and Switch are out of there as well. 3v3. No clear advantage other than that damage that Kojo took before. He will go pick up the bomb though. As now Pug takes down Aris. And Viki's gonna take down Korn. Man, the trades are everywhere, Roy. Nobody in that clear of a lead until now that Viki is left on his own. He will not go for a save either, by the way. He actually wants to commit. Does not want Davenport to reach the double digits. Throws another flash, but it won't go his way as Davenport wins the round. They reach the double digits.
Tries to force his way in, but it doesn't work out for him in the end. Davenport getting that 10th one on the board. BHOP though, will they be able to get it done now? And I mean, in spite of differences, the clear differences in firepower that we have right now, more often than not, BHOP Esports have really buckled down and just it's like shooting time for them. And they just go for it, and they've got it. They've got a couple of those situations, and exactly what I meant. Silence dealing with Kojo, but oh, if it wasn't Spec and Korn. Still a bit of a hope here. However, it is the man himself yet again. The Grim Reaper on the side of Davenport. The damage dealer. Look at that. And also, most frags out of anybody in this lobby so far. So, just everything going his way. Biki, though. Will he get one more to boot? And the support is right there, though. So, even though Biki gets one last, will it be Spec to shut his hopes down? All Biki needs is to get this kill. And Spec, bomb in hand, gonna be forced to rotate. 1v1, this is a showdown. This is exactly what we want to see. The smoke is right here, so it seems like, yep, indeed, a Spec is gonna commit to that, and now it's all a matter of defense. Biki not looking in the best position so far.
Spec's gonna hide behind the smoke. We will see the showdown though, Roy. As they're about to flank each other, Biki's gonna get it though! Biki takes down Spec! And that's going to be the defuse without a kid, by the way. But yeah, I mean, Davenport, more than enough time, yeah. Davenport in the double digits as well. The round trading is unreal, Roy. It seems like it was ages ago when BHOP was up 4-0. It's like we're in an entirely different map or series, because these two teams seem to be as even as can be. The menace of an overtime is more than real. It's all a matter of clutching things out. And, at least in terms of KD, I do see Davenport playing much more aggressively. You can see it on Spec, right? 24 kills to 15 deaths versus Aris's 17 kills to 16 deaths. Much better KD overall in Davenport. But now the thing is, how has BHOP won those rounds? They actually get some very smart defuses. They might not even try and go for kills all the time. They actually more so like to survive. They have been protecting their recon quite a bit. Davenport on the other side, now that they're playing T, I do see them a bit better on the positioning front, but unfortunately for them, they get a... Yep, that's a very bad trade right there as Pug and Kojo go down. And now everybody from Davenport seems to be biting the dust not long before Switcher goes down as well. BHOP back on top.
Even though the timing seemed to have favored Spec, he wasn't able to do much with what he had in store at that point. The cards that he got dealt were a bit favorable, but not able to take advantage of any of that. So BHOP will soar back into a lead this time around. But at this point, we are expecting these guys to trade rounds. We are expecting them to go back and forth. So I have no doubt in my mind Davenport not going to give up the fight just yet. However, that is a ton of damage very, very quickly walking to the fire. Very much not recommended by the doctors.
Speaking of which, did somebody order some bullets? Because it seems that even shooting through the smoke, they're more than ready to deliver. I don't see Brett in the best of positions in terms of health, though, as he is just one sneeze away from death. And he is taking cover in a very tight angle between short and chamber. Good position to cover, as you also have Beaky right next to him. But Aris goes down as he attempts to cover B's ramp. Back to the excavation showdowns, Roy. We have seen people falling here time and time again as they try to exit. Spec only has a molly. Nobody has smokes anymore. So Davenport can't really cover their entryways. They will need to rotate to see someone else take another route. And yes, Silas decides to move back. That's a free entry for Davenport. Man, that one choice from Silas might make a turn of events as he stopped covering the entry from dark to pillar. The bomb is planted, but the numbers are not favoring Davenport at all, as they are now down a team member. And Kojo will not get the shot onto Brett either. That's another run for BHOP.
Yet another one, and look at that. Brett continues to shoot straight this time around. Pass has been completely forgotten at this point. At the very least for him. Yup. Yet again, knowing how to play their numbers. And getting Davenport in a stranglehold by the end. And as you're saying, the problem was also that the U2 was not on their side. Just so deadly Brett looked on that last round. And really, this second half has been favoring him so much more than we've previously seen before. Which, it feels a bit strange to say this is the biggest lead that we've seen in a minute. But it indeed is. Silas is out of there. He knew, but just to turn right back in. Aries gets the info, though he's ready to cover. He doesn't even get the chance to, as Swan gonna take care of that kill, and in the end, not even the desperate plan goes through. BHOP Esports is starting to soar away. The distance widens, and this is the part where, like, things could get, like, this is the crucial moments, right? Like, either you still keep yourself competitive, or just hit 3 more and BHOP Esports claim this map number 1.
The problem is that Davenport started on their best side, and then the switch did not benefit them as much as I thought. They started out with good momentum going, but slowly BHOP has managed to stop them on their tracks, actually borrowing from their own book. Like, Davenport covered for lower mid, and that's a classic strat that BHOP has now adopted. I saw them kind of leave that open for a little while. And as for the rest, look at the tight angles that they're choosing, mostly by covering chamber, I would like to say, because you don't see Davenport moving through mid anymore, because they know there's always somebody on that angle by chamber lane and chamber. So it's going to be quite a dangerous place to go through. Mid is closed, basically. So excavation and T lower are the two sides that you see the most contention on. And here, they are still deciding whether to go through excavation or not. They want more intel, but nobody's willing to throw any util. Finally, Spec decides to go front, and guess what? Kojo takes down Eris.
Kojo had the angle and a couple of players on the side of BHOP were trying to cause some distraction. In the end, all they caught was a bullet. Of course, Kojo, whatever this man is in his shots, great things follow here for Davenport. Silas, huge frag as well, evening the numbers out, and Swan doing his thing. Oh, some damage, even getting some shots on his teammate there, so perhaps a bit careless on his part. However, the damage has been done, and even though the plant comes through, it is just not enough, I think, for Korn to get the right amount of defense. And yes, this bomb is not gonna go off. Silas will take care of that. BHOP put themselves closer and closer to their first W. And so that would be huge. It is such a huge momentum dealer. It is like the pressure must be enormous knowing that you're mapped down and you're about to be eliminated. Let's not forget, this part of the bracket, all of the playoffs have been single eliminations. So if Davenport end up losing this map, if they let go of this couple more rounds that BHOP need, then they would find themselves at elimination's door, and it's a position that you definitely want to avoid.
For sure, they could only hope for an overtime if BHOP were to take another round, so that will be the attempt to make this as long as possible. Pug is gonna take some damage from that Molly, trying to get something in exchange, does not get anything, and instead Korn is gonna fall. Kojo about to die as well, as Switcher throws some preemptive fire onto the smoke. Gonna get nobody. The bomb is planted though, so Davenport needs to protect, and BHOP needs to move forward. They find both Pug and Kojo, but Spec takes down Silas. They are gonna move into the defuse though. Switcher does not find Aris, and that's the round for BHOP. Worst case scenario, we go to overtime, but so far so good for BHOP as they're approaching a first map win.
Yeah, economy is still not too hurt on the side of Davenport, so at the very least, they have the tools to fight back. But nonetheless, pressure is on their side. BHOP just one more. All they need, play tight. And let's see if Swan gets to do some more damage with the up. Which angle would he be choosing to hold? It seems like mid, as yet again completely shut down. Hustle away from connector. He's going to be watching. In the meantime, though, Silas is going to catch some action right in front of him. Just not the right angle that he's holding. Yeah, I think he heard something right around. Will he be able to poke? And yes, he's going to fall down. Spec and Kojo shutting them down. So, super crucial frags at that point. And, oh, there it is. Swan, though, to deal some damage back.
We do see Davenport losing that huge lead that they had when taking down Silas and Aris, two of the heaviest hitters of BHOP Esports. Swan has the AWP and is covering a very precise angle. I see a chance for a showdown too between Swan and Spec. That's what he's waiting for. He wants Spec to move from CT spawn to connector. Will he do it? Spec does not give up an inch. Spec has only a frag as well. Will force Swan to move out of the way. Swan has no util at all. He is going to find Spec, though. That's the headshot. Get it out of here, Spec. They are forced to push for A, though, as they are going to go ahead and plant the bomb. The intel is here, though, and BHOP is rotating. It seems that they're going to commit to covering chamber first, though. I don't know if that's the best of angles, as BHOP has gotten the read on them. They're going to rotate through Hall. But it seems that Swan doesn't have a clear view either. Can't just leave his front. Who's covering, though? I don't see anybody actually trying to go in for the bomb. Will they actually play for the save? They're so close to the bomb. The smoke is going to be set up. This should be the chance for them to move in. Brett has the kid, and so does Peaky. Time's running out, though. He will get the defuse. He will get the defuse. That's the map for BHOP Esports.
And that is the importance of keeping your utility by the end. Having those resources. And even though they only managed to get one frag by the end, courtesy of that nice shot from Swan, I mean, that was an impressive use of the up close and personal. But nonetheless, BHOP Esports closing things out in stellar fashion right there, getting the nail bite or defuse at the end.